it's me, Tiana, here, back at it again for another Halloween video. And today we are talking about my favorite live action Halloween TV programs. Live action, if you don't know, just means that like it's real human beings, it's not animated. Obviously, like most content is live action, so I couldn't really like I couldn't break it down to like a top 10 list with like favorite episodes of specific shows, because there's so many shows. Like everybody and their grandma got a Halloween special for their show. So what I did was kind of break it into categories and then I'm gonna try to give you like a quick overview of like each category. I want you to know it's really just like the Virgo in me that jumped out that made me put it into categories, because it's not Halloween related. Like it's not like, you know, spooky, actually scary, horror, or like it's literally just types of shows and categories. So but I think that might be more helpful because some people don't like certain types of shows. So you could probably find a show that's Halloween related in whatever genre of show you like with these categories. Look at me bringing it back to logic. Love that for me. In two ways. So the first thing I want to do is start with children's program. First one is Nick specials. So in my cartoon video, I talked a lot about the cartoons on Nickelodeon. I feel like Nickelodeon does really good at Halloween specials. I was actually gonna do a video about Nickelodeon Halloween movies because I am gonna do a Disney Halloween movie video. However, there's not a lot of Halloween movies on Nick. Also, I feel like Nick didn't really do a lot of movies in general. Like the Nick shows didn't get as many full-length movies, and I really wonder why that was, now that I think about it. Like, what was the reasoning? We could have, like, we got the Jungle movie for Hey Arnold, but like, and we got all the Rugrats movies, which are iconic, and I'll probably do a video talking about the Rugrats movie at some point. The Rugrats movies are actually low-key more iconic and better than the TV show, and I love the Rugrats. Like I said in my other video, the Rugrats is like a top-tier show for me. So Nick has a lot of cartoons, but I did want to talk a little bit about the live-action Nick shows. So the first one, and really like the beginning of this list of me talking about like live-action, the first thing I wrote down as soon as I decided I wanted to do a video about live-action Halloween specials, it was Kenan and Kel, Two Heads Are Better Than One. Now, I feel like a lot of my picks, especially on here, but in general in life of this week, the stuff that I be talking about is really gonna age me. Like, it's really gonna let y'all know that I'm a staunch elderly. I'm a staunch elderly. So the Kenan and Kel special, I'm pretty sure was in the final season of Kenan and Kel, which would have been early 2000s, I think. Kenan and Kel, Two Heads Are Better Than One, is a special in which Kenan and Kel, along with Kenan's family, go on a trip. It's kind of similar to, if you've ever seen Scary Movie 2, I think. Pretty sure it's Scary Movie 2, where they like all go to that haunted mansion, and it's the man with the little hand and they like weirdly ableist about the hand, and whichever Scary Movie that was, it's a very similar plot. The family along with Kel go to this haunted mansion, and it's low-key an episode of Scooby-Doo. It's very similar to a Scooby-Doo episode. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can't tell you which one, given live-action Scooby-Doo, which is probably why I love it. But yeah, it's my favorite one of my favorite Halloween specials. Again, I didn't have enough time to do a whole bunch of research for these videos, so I cannot tell you where anything is streaming, unless like I know off the top of my head where it's streaming. But if you can find it streaming somewhere, my best guess would be the CBS All Access app, because it has all the Viacom programming on there. So if anywhere is gonna have it, it'll probably be CBS All Access. Also on Nick, we have Zoe 101 and Ned's Declassified. So Zoe 101 has an episode, it's like your typical hunting ghosts episode that I really love. And then Ned's Declassified also has a Halloween special. I put it down on this list because I was like, oh my god, I love that episode, but now I cannot remember what the episode is about. That's wild. Either way, I when I made this list 20 minutes ago, I loved that episode, so go watch that episode. I don't know. Next, we're gonna go to Disney Channel TV special. So like I said, I am gonna do a separate video talking about my favorite Disney movies, but these are the Disney shows that had like Halloween specials that I love. There are 4 Halloween specials on the Disney Channel that I love. That's a Raven, Even Stevens, Hannah Montana, and The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. The Even Stevens episode and The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody episode are very similar. The main character be pranking their sibling all the time, and the sibling wants to get revenge and does a prank on them. And then we sort of end the episode with, but was it a prank, you know, as those shows tend to do. And it's actually really, really funny. And again, it toes the line of being funny and also like a little scary, like a little bit scary, just a tiny bit. Next we have like I said, Raven and Hannah Montana. So in the Raven episode, Raven and Chelsea are making a potion. Chelsea's PETA pen, I don't know if it's PETA, but it's just like her animal rights pen with a cow in it, on it, falls into the potion. As they're making it, they're trying to win a Halloween costume. That's what a Halloween costume contest, and that's what the potion is supposed to help them win, the costume contest. And the pin falls into the potion, and then they end up turning into cows. It's a extremely funny episode. It's not scary at all. So if you don't want to be scared at all, you just want to like have a vague veneer of Halloween, that's the episode for you. It's very funny. It's so funny. Like to this day, that's what Raven holds up so well. It's such a great show. And then the Hannah Montana episode is when Hannah's cousin, who looks exactly like her, comes and shenanigans ensue. If you like Hannah Montana, you've probably seen this episode. It's very iconic. It's very funny. And Hannah Montana is another show that honestly, it held up. Like Hannah Montana is great. It was great then and it's great now. I was trying to think of like what's the name of this category. Like I was thinking it was like supernatural shows or shows that are like spooky like all the time, like I did with my animated thing, my animated video. But I realized it's just witch shows because I really like witch shows. Like I really like witch shows. I think I talked in one of these videos, or I may have edited out, but I said at one point in my life that I used to be really obsessed with witches and like truly genuinely believed that I was going to be a witch when I grew up. I just knew that I was going to turn 16 and my witch powers were going to come in. I had convinced myself of it. Never happened. 4 witch shows that I would recommend you watch are Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which actually has 3 Halloween episodes on the series. You can watch those Halloween episodes. I would suggest, if you're gonna watch Buffy, to just watch the entire show. But if you just want to watch the Halloween episodes, I'm sure you'll be fine. The second one is Charmed. I've talked about how much I love Charmed in multiple videos, but I really love Charmed. Like, it's one of my favorite shows. And by Charmed, I mean the OG Charmed. The new Charmed also has Halloween episodes. They both have 2 Halloween episodes. There's only 2 seasons of the new Charmed, so I'm assuming because they did one in each season that they'll probably do like a Halloween episode every season. Which is cool. I like when shows have like recurring things they do over and over. But I have not watched the new Charmed yet. But the OG Charmed, I have watched the entire series. I love it. It's one of my favorite shows. And you should watch those Halloween episodes. Again, I would suggest you watch the entire show because it's great. But if you just want to watch the Halloween episodes, you can. And then Sabrina the Teenage Witch is another one of my all-time favorite shows. Again, there is a Halloween episode. These Halloween episodes, I feel like it would be perfectly fine for you just to watch the Halloween episodes. You don't have to watch the entire shows to really get it because it is a sitcom. However, again, watch it. It's so good. I love Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Once she graduates high school, you don't even have to worry about it. Don't keep watching. You don't have to keep watching. Like maybe 1 season of college, sure, but after that you don't have to keep watching. It's straight downhill. All right, so I need to make 2 corrections. The first one is that I know that Buffy is not a witch show. I know Buffy's not a witch. She's a vampire slayer. I just included it with those shows because female lead magic powers, like it's the same thing. Like I get that she's not a witch, but also there are witches on that show, so it fits, and that's my stance and I'm sticking to it. Secondly, somehow I talked about Sabrina the Teenage Witch but forgot to talk about the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which I also have watched and do love. I don't quite know if I would recommend people watch the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina because I can't say that it's a good show, but it is a fun watch and it's a little bit nuts, and Ambrose is very attractive. So those are the cons. I mean, the pros. The cons is it's literally nothing like the sitcoms from the Teenage Witch. Like there's no similarities other than character names. Like Sabrina on the sitcom versus Sabrina on the Netflix show are nothing alike. Salem is on both shows, but Salem is a cat, like a regular cat. Well, not regular, but a magical cat, but he doesn't like talk or anything or have any jokes or anything. He's just like a cat who protects her. And Ambrose sort of fills the role that Salem was in the sitcom. The aunts are both on both, but the personalities are nothing the same. It's like not similar at all. And Harvey is not similar, and Sabrina and Harvey, their relationship is not similar. Well, no, but kind of, but no. They have new characters, new friend characters. They let the black girl stay on the show for more than one season. It's just they're doing all kind of different new things that this sitcom never did. So if you like the sitcom, I can't tell you that you'll like the Netflix version, but the Netflix version is nuts and also kind of bad, but also kind of fun. So if you like bad fun TV shows, then I would suggest you watch Sabrina. I don't know if I'm pretty sure they have Halloween episodes, but the whole show is kind of like more spooky and darker and like more jump scares, and I wasn't scared watching it at all, but when my sister watched it, who's like more scary than I am, she said that she was actually scared and she stopped watching it. So I guess if you are like a really, really low tolerance for horror, it's probably not the show to watch. But if you can do some horror or some scary, it's a fun watch. Again, I cannot say that the show is a good show, but it is fun to watch. And then finally, American Horror Story. So I did not watch American Horror Story consistently. I've never watched it consistently. The only full season of American Horror Story that I have ever seen is Coven, because it's the most iconic one. I'm so sorry. I don't want to get into like this whole beef and argument with the fans. I know y'all all love whatever episodes you love, whatever seasons you love. That's fine. The only full season I've ever seen is Coven, and when I tried to watch whatever the one that came after Coven, bored me to tears. I'm sorry. Get Angela Bassett, you know, get Gabourey Sidibe, you know, get you some more black witches, and I'll tune in. I'll tune into your program. If you can give me some more black witches in your show, I will tune into your program. But until we get there, it's not for me. It's not for me. It's not for me. I'm so sorry, but it's just not for me. So my suggestion would be to watch the entirety of Coven, but every season of American Horror Story has a Halloween episode, so you could just watch that if you really want to. Again, I think you might be a little confused if you just try to jump into the one episode, but you do you, child. So the next category is just singing, like music, and the only thing in this category is the Glee Rocky Horror Picture Show episode. I love Rocky Horror Picture Show as a movie. I watched it for the first time in adulthood. It was another one of those movies that I literally just watched because I saw so many people talking about how much they loved it, and I was like, I feel left out, so I need to watch it because I had never seen it, never heard of it. And this was after I had seen the Glee episode, because I did watch Glee when it aired. It's not one of my proudest moments. It's not something that I really talk much about, but I was a Gleek. And it's embarrassing. It's truly embarrassing. Like, but I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show, the like original movie, and it's great, and I love it, and I love every iteration of it. I watched the one with Victoria Justice, the live one on whatever channel it was live on. I watched the Glee. Every time any show does Rocky Horror. I just love it. It's great. It's just great. And Perks of Being a Wallflower, when they was doing Rocky Horror, I loved it. I just loved it. It's just great. So the next category is white sitcoms. Again, there are like 500 different Halloween episodes for different shows, but these are just the ones that I love for shows that I love. So Heart of Dixie is a sitcom about a small town in the South. I've mentioned in another video about how much I love shows based in the South that talk about the South, because I feel like a lot of shows don't. Heart of Dixie is very sweet, very heartwarming, very cute, and it's very diverse. I am calling it a white sitcom because the main character is that white girl from child, what is that show I didn't watch? My brain is saying Laguna Beach, but it's the fictional one. It's the fictional one about California and teenagers, and the dude from Gilmore Girls went to that show. If you watched any of, if you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments, because I don't. Misha Barton? Is her name Misha Barton? No, it's not Misha Barton. Either way, she's the main character, along with Lavon Hayes, who is Scooter from Living Single. If you are a little bit older, you might catch that reference. I've been calling him Lavon Hayes since I watched Heart of Dixie. It's just so good. They have 3 Halloween episodes for all 3 seasons, so you should watch those. Brooklyn Nine-Nine does a Halloween episode every year. They have 5 Halloween episodes. The premise is basically on Halloween they have like something that the 2 teams have to like battle to see who is going to find it before midnight or have it in their possession before midnight. They do like a twist of that sort of premise for each episode each season, with the last one ending with an engagement. So I think that was the last one. I haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine in a while because cop propaganda, but also I just once it changed channels, I just felt like the vibe was different. It wasn't sitting right in my spirit in the same way. So I just kind of tuned out. I do think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is really funny, and it's one of the better cop propaganda shows. So if you're into cop propaganda, it's a good one. Next is the Clueless TV show. So I do love Clueless. The movie is one of my all-time favorite movies. Iconic, honestly, truly. I will watch it anytime, any place. I quote it like on the daily basis. I love it, honestly and truly. But there was a TV show that a lot of people don't talk about. I used to watch it all the time on the N. It used to play reruns. It used to come on in between Moesha and like My So-Called Life or something. But they have a Halloween episode each season. It's a sitcom, so you can watch just the Halloween episodes. I was just watch the whole show because it's great. And as the clothes on this Clueless TV show, like if you like the clothes on the Clueless movie, the clothes on the TV show is just gonna, and that style of clothing is like back in right now. So if you're looking for like good costumes or just like style inspo, I would suggest you watch the Clueless TV show. Next is Superstore. Superstore has a Halloween episode every season. Superstore is so funny, and I don't see anybody ever talking about Superstore. I included it with the white shows, even though America Ferrera isn't white. I'm pretty sure she's not white. Most of the characters on that show are still white, and it's a white sitcom. It just is. The jokes and the structure is a white sitcom. And then finally, Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World has 4 different Halloween specials, and they're all great. They're all great. I love Boy Meets World's Halloween episodes. Boy Meets World, the show, at some points I can take or leave. Like the college years, I can take or leave. The middle school years, I can kind of take or leave. The high school years are a little bit iconic, just a tiny bit, just a teensy bit iconic. However, Corey needed to be in jail, and I'm just really confused as to why Topanga ended up with him. That might be a controversial take. I didn't want Topanga with Corey. I wanted her to be great with somewhere else. Okay, what is my girl name? I cannot think of what her name, what that white woman name is, but the white woman who worked at the ski resort, she tried to save Topanga. But no, she married that man and she had that child, and that's how we ended up with Girl Meets World, which sucked. So I honestly blame Corey. Linda Cardellini. That's what I was trying to remember. Linda tried to save Topanga, but she didn't want to be saved. Can't save her. She didn't want to be saved. The next category should have been earlier in this video because it's more children's children's programming, but it's Degrassi. So Degrassi has multiple Halloween like web series. I don't know if they were actually episodes of the show or if it was just web series, but that lets you know how deep I was in on Degrassi, okay? That lets you know how deep I got into the show because I was watching the web clips. I used to spend approximately 74% of my time on the N.com, the website. It was between the N.com and girl.com, GURL.com, okay? Because if you don't type it with the U, you're gonna end up on a porn site. Trust me, I've done it by accident so many times. But girl.com and the N.com were the only websites that I was on when I was a teenager. I was on there hard body. I was in the forums on girl.com giving people so many advice that I had no business giving, telling people what to do. That was my favorite thing to do. I would be on there and people, I'm 14 years old and people on there like, oh my God, I just turned 17. I think I might be pregnant. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, girl, so what you need to do is you need to go to CVS. Like, don't know nothing about nothing. Don't know nothing about nothing. Telling people what they need to do about their unwanted pregnancy. Like, what is my problem? Arguing with people about politics. I used to be on the girl.com. I used to be on the girl.com forums in there dragging people for no reason. What was my problem about politics? Calling people racist, like arguing pro-abortion. Like, meanwhile, I'm 14 years old, tops. Like, who was supervising me? No one. No one was supervising me. No one was supervising me. Nobody was supervising me. Why was I on them websites? On there arguing with grown people. Not grown people. They was probably older teenagers, like young adults. Like 22 tops was on that show. I mean, on that website. But I was hard down arguing down with people. And guess what? I was right. I was right. And I still stand by it. Now, I won't say I stand by everything I said because I don't remember everything I used to say. But I do remember I used to be on there arguing with people about abortion. Like, why? Like, why? Like, why? I also used to do it in school. I used to be, why was I so pro-abortion in high school? In high school, for what reason? Like, what reason? What was the reason? Child, we love a political mind in childhood. Like, that's the most on-brand story I've ever told about myself. Like, the fact that I was a teenager, an early teenager, on the internet in forums arguing with people about like racism and sexism and homophobia and like women's rights as a child. Like, that's so on brand for me because literally that's all I do now today. Still 20 years later, I'm not actually 34, but 20 years later, I'm still on the internet arguing with people about women's rights and racism and sexism and homophobia, like, and transphobia. Just sprinkle that in because I didn't really know anything about trans people when I was a kid, but like now that I'm an adult, sprinkle that in. Like, and classism, I wasn't as left as I am now when I was a kid. So sprinkling some classism, arguing with people about being class traitors. Yep, that's me. Still today. Love that for me. Anyways, I used to spend all my time on the N.com. And on the N.com, another aside, I was going to say last aside, but it's not. There was a game on the N.com called Slasher. And it's literally the same game as Among Us. Like, everybody has been playing Among Us and talking about Among Us all the time. But, like, it was a game on the N.com called Slasher. And it's the exact same game. Like, you would get into a group of people and then they would tell you right before the game started which one of the people was the slasher, and then you have to go through and kill people and try to figure out who was the slasher throughout the game. Like, and it was better. The only thing that I hated about Slasher on then.com is that it never was working. Like, it never was. It was always down. I think I played like 20 times tops in the years that game was on that website because it never worked. It never was working. The N.com had all the Degrassi shorts. I forget what season it was. It had to have been, I want to say, it had to have been season 4, 5, or 6. Somewhere in between season 4 and season 6 that they had these shorts. They had these Halloween shorts. They had all kind of different shorts. They had like Degrassi what ifs, which is when they would be like, what if this person did this thing that another character did? Like, what if these two characters switched like plot line? It was so iconic. It was so good. Like, Degrassi was keeping us fed. They was keeping us fed in the early 2000s. Wow. I love that for me. I'm a stan. Anyways, so the next category is black sitcoms. So almost all of the black sitcoms have Halloween episodes, but the ones that I put on here to talk about, the Parkers and Moesha. Obviously, if you've ever seen the Parkers or Moesha, you know that Kim's birthday is on Halloween. So they tend to do like a birthday party Halloween episode, like hybrid every season on the Parkers, and then Moesha had like a crossover episode with the Parkers where they did a Halloween episode. Blackish has a Halloween episode every season. Again, it's great if you want to like get costume ideas, because they do like go all out on the costumes every year. And I like Blackish. I know a lot of people have their issues with King Bars, and I honestly agree with a lot of critiques of him. Also, at some point I will do a video about Grownish because it's a hot mess. But I do think Blackish generally is a funny show, and I think it's a worthwhile watch. If you like sitcoms, you'll probably like Blackish because it's a high quality sitcom, which makes it so weird that Grownish is such a bad sitcom because Blackish is so good. Girlfriends has 2 Halloween episodes. I love Girlfriends. It's one of my all-time favorite shows. The first Halloween episode of Girlfriends, where Joan is playing a prank on William. It's one of my favorite episodes. It's very funny. 101 has multiple Halloween episodes. 101 is just one of my all-time favorite shows as well. You should just watch 101, and that's Girlfriends and 101 are both on Netflix. You should watch both shows because they're great. If you want to see like really well written like black female characters, those are the first shows I would suggest you watch. Yeah, really anything by Mara Barker Kill, anything that Mara Barker Kill wrote, it's amazing. No one writes black women like Mara Barker Kill, and I won't keep saying that, but I will keep saying that. And then the final category is it should have been in the early category. I guess final category is like real or reality, I guess is the thing. So it's a show that used to come on Discovery Kids called Truth or Scare with Michelle Trachtenberg, and she basically would like go like around the world investigating like myths and legends and seeing like what there is like that is real about them. I think it's a great like fun watch if you're like sort of nerdy and you like Halloween-ish stuff, because it's like her investigating Bigfoot or her investigating like the Loch Ness Monster and stuff like that, and like getting together all the facts and stuff that people have about it so you can make your own opinion. If you're like a conspiracy theorist, it'll be a fun watch for you. It should be like right up your alley. I don't know if many people remember that show or remember Discovery Kids like as a channel. Discovery Kids had so many shows that I loved as a kid and like a teenager that I just never hear people talk about. Like y'all didn't watch Black Cozy High, which is another show that you can watch if you want Halloween vibes. It's not specifically Halloween, but it's like supernatural. But nobody watched Black Cozy High. It was just me. Oh, like y'all didn't watch Endurance. That was the first reality show I ever watched, I think, was Endurance. Y'all didn't watch Trading Spaces Girls versus Boys, because that was I wanted to redecorate my room every single time. Every single episode I watched, I was like, oh, and I'm gonna do this to my room and I'm gonna do that to my room, like, and was gonna do nothing. I remember one episode they turned the girl room into a beach, and I just remember watching the entire episode like, so she gonna have sand in her room? Like, and this is coming from someone who birthday is in August. I love the summer. It's my favorite season. I love the beach. There's nothing in life I love more than being at the beach. I actually really like sand. I know a lot of people don't like sand, you know, because it gets in your crevices and itchy and all that. I love sand, and the literal only thought was, so she gonna have sand in her room? Because why? But yeah, so that is this extremely long video that I did not mean for it to be this long. I'll try to cut out some of my asides. Maybe we can shorten this up, but yeah. So in the comments, tell me what live action like shows that you watch during Halloween time. Is there any show that you're, or any Halloween episode that you always come back to? Like, is there anything that you're like, every year I have to watch this, like I have to watch, it's not Halloween until I'm watching fill in the blank? Tell me what it is. Share this video with someone who is looking for just some spooky vibes for this Halloween week. And like this video if you like this content. Please subscribe. Once again, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and I really feel like we can do it. Like, I'm not really that close, but I feel like we can do it. I feel like me and you as a team, as a community, we can get it done. So please subscribe and share this with someone else who would like this content, who you think would like me as a you know, content maker, who would like my stuff. And tell them to subscribe too, and then tell them to send it to somebody who they think will like it too, so we can get to 1,000 before the end of the year. And I guess that's it, and I'll see you in the next one.